All right, welcome, revelers. This is Off the Rails, Right versus Left, the podcast that we do because we think the left is evil. I'm Rob B.
And I'm Brad Lee.
And I'm Brian G.
And we are Off the Rails, Right versus Left. Again, we're doing this show because we think everybody needs to know that the left is
Classic.
Classic. The last thing you hear in the intro is Brad going, classic.
Classic Brad intro.
Yep. Well,
Almost
revelers,
as good as a donkey punch.
revelers, welcome to the show. We're all here from the beginning of the show, so that's a nice start to the day.
Obviously, it threw Rob off.
We're going to be talking about a few things. And then, of course, we always go way off the rails anyway. So I want to talk a little bit about Tate because I think he did actually have a good message for men, but then he also fucked it up and didn't live by his own messaging. Then Biden actually did something right in foreign policy, I think. And since it's like the first thing he's ever done in politics that was actually right, we got to mention it. I mean, we got to be fair. He did something right.
Did he? Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yes. One thing.
You act like Biden comes up with his own ideas and shit.
Yeah. Hey,
Just because he signed his name doesn't mean that he did it.
Hey, old calendar still accurate once every 8 years.
Well, my clock's right twice a day.
So, and then there's one more topic that we're going to be touching on. What's that, Brad? What are we going to be talking about for our third topic?
The transurrection, where they overtook the transurrection. Why? What is it with you and erections, Rob?
It sounds like erection.
You have an oral fixation?
No, I'm saying
it's like the second time that you've talked about an erection with a trans.
No. I'm saying
tell the viewers what the transurrection is, you jackass. What I'm saying is the transurrection, where they went and infiltrated the Capitol building of Oklahoma because trans lives matter. Hey, BLM, how do you like that? The trannies took over your freaking
that is
mantra.
The worst thing that's ever happened in this country in history.
I will comment. We'll talk more about it, but BLM doesn't care because that's the only place they actually sent money to was trans groups.
Oh, I know.
So,
but now it's like, okay, Black lives don't matter.
God,
so
it's to the point where you can't even watch and enjoy a show without it.
Word. Anyway, so everybody, revelers, make sure you get that like in, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you can make sure that you listen to us blather like a bunch of idiots every time we go live.
We're gonna me and Rob argue with each other because Brian doesn't want to argue with anybody.
Yep, and of course I'm Rob B, and that's Brian
G,
and I am Brad Lee.
All right, so
and we're gonna take you off the rails on this motherfucking crazy train.
Okay, so start off. I gotta do something real quick. So Brad, start off with your transurrection.
What? It's fucking stupid. We're gonna have to get violent with these people. Okay? How can they call what they did in Oklahoma, where they want to keep people from mutilating children, overtake a Capitol building while it is in session and the cops are standing around doing nothing? You know, if that was conservative or Republicans, that they would all be in jail. You know that. And another thing, all of those stupid trans activists, trans fats, because that's all they were, is fat. Totally fat, blue, pink-haired, ugly motherfucking people that just have no reason even to be on this planet. I cannot share my country with them. I share the opinion that John Burke has from the All American Savage show.
Well, I mean, the fact that they didn't even force their way into the Capitol. The doors were literally opened for them and they walked in. And
the same thing happened in Oklahoma.
And I don't care what the left says. There was only one person killed on that day, and that was somebody who walked in with the doors open, did nothing violent, and was shot by one of the officers. The one woman. She wasn't even. Every video shows she wasn't even doing anything violent. She was just looking around. She was just in the group, and it's just disgusting.
I can't wait for Kevin McCarthy better release all that footage, and I'm going to go through every second of it. Every second of 16,000 hours. Is that what it is? I don't know. It's going to take me half a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say something that's going to be super controversial. Good big shock to that. Trans lives mattering. They don't. And what I mean by that is these are people who have literally chosen to remove themselves from the gene pool.
Yep.
So when it comes in terms of the human race, they don't matter, and they don't matter by choice. Now, I'll also throw in there these purple-haired freaks that are living in their parents' basements, calling themselves they, them, aren't really contributing to the economy either, except for, occasional construction jobs when they break something. You with me? So, at least the tagline on BLM, I can agree with, because black people do matter. I just wish Black Lives Matter to the BLM organization, and they clearly don't.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard you say.
I just wish it wasn't just Black Lives, that it was every life.
Lives matter. Lives matter.
Okay, so,
if you have to put a color before that, then you are a racist.
It should be human beings matter.
Okay, so let's not pretend that the point that they're making is that they believe that black people are treated like their lives don't matter. And that's the point they're trying to make. It may be an erroneous point, but don't gloss over the point they're trying to make.
Yeah, considering specifically white people are more likely to be killed by cops by far than blacks.
Well, and if I say blue lives matter, it doesn't mean that like firemen don't matter. It doesn't mean that you guys don't matter. So it's kind of stupid to like act like say it. So it's kind of dumb, and this is actually something the right does that kind of irritates me. Like, I mean, I get the point that like, oh, they're focusing on black people. Yeah, it's supposed to be about black people. I have an issue
just invoking more racism.
Okay, so like, we get that that's your fucking point, but you're not the one in the Black Lives Matter movement. But now, if the implication is if they say only Black Lives Matter, then it's racist. You get what I'm saying?
No, that makes absolutely no sense. If you have to put a color in front of lives matter, that's racist. Look at the shit that Candace Owens and Kanye West. Look at the shit that Kanye West and Candace Owens got for wearing T-shirts that said "White Lives Matter." The Black Lives Matter people didn't get that same sort of criticism. If you have to put a color before lives matter, you're racist.
Okay, you done?
Yeah, that's bullshit what you just said.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's really not.
Only Black Lives Matter, that's racist. But if they say only Black Lives Matter, then I would be racist.
If they say only Black Lives Matter, see the word that's mentioning in that's inferred that apparently white people are too fucking stupid to get, is that Black Lives Matter means Black Lives Matters too. But
they didn't say two, did they? They've never said that. Because so you're too stupid to understand that they are the racists.
Yeah, because that's an extra like 50 cents per sign to put two on the fucking placard.
You just color on the number 2.
Okay,
they do it in text messages.
Okay, we get you. We get your point. You're gonna fucking knock anything that the BLM idea had. Okay, what I'm saying is, yes, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, Red Lives Matter. The color doesn't really fucking matter.
So why not just say lives matter?
Because the whole fucking point was they feel like black people are treated like their lives don't matter. And what the movement was supposed to be was a pushback on that. The problem was BLM, the organization, doesn't think Black Lives Matter, and all they really cared about was their trans fucking agenda.
Well, and their pocketbooks too.
Yeah, and like black people are quicker to move on emotion on things that are revolve around race, and so this fucking race baiting cunt, fucking, and yeah, that's what she is. She fucking used that emotional wellspring from black people about race to manipulate them into buying her a bunch of mansions and paying for her trans whatever to have
she was
surgery.
making money off of everybody, black, white.
Yeah, but she was a grifter. No, but she used the emotions around race.
I understand.
For financial gain. Okay, but the idea behind BLM, the idea was that black people in this country have been lied to so much they feel like their lives don't matter, and they have every right to say, "Hey, I matter too," but they should have said "too." And that's where the message was missing. And the reason why that was missing from the message is because it was not about a real fucking taking issue with the black people and the actual causes that are killing black people, like, you know, fucking
black on black
abortion
crime.
That's killed half of what should have been the abortions that should have killed off what would have been half the population of black people in this country. Well, that shit doesn't matter because it doesn't fit with the fucking agenda and the narrative that they're trying to push. You get what I'm saying? So like I identify with what the movement was trying to say. Hey, we matter too, and we feel like we don't, but they didn't fucking articulate it because they were manipulated emotionally around a false narrative about violence, about police brutality against black people. When the actuality, as a percentage of incidences where you interact with the cops, white people are more likely to die than black people because we have 1/6 the number of interactions with police, and yet we have an equal number of deaths.
How about if we say that uncooperative people die more than cooperative people?
That's true, and cooperative people die sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
We can't pretend that pretend that never happens, but it's generally speaking, it has nothing to do with race. Mm-hmm. It's just abuse of authority. Mm-hmm. Okay, so but you also have to agree, like, a little white girl goes missing, the news covers it every day, 24 hours a day, for months. A little black girl goes missing, it doesn't even make the front page.
Okay, so who do we have to blame for that?
Oh, the fucking media, because they fucking threw up a narrative, but
then see what. Sorry, Rob, and then see what the media does is they create this divide because, well, you've got little old Joy Reid who wants to talk about a white girl missing, but then she doesn't want to talk about any of the black girls missing. But she wants to talk about how, and what she doesn't get is she's the one that can report on these black girls missing or black kids missing.
Yeah, she's the one that has the ability to change it.
She's a stochastic terrorist.
What did you call her?
A stochastic terrorist.
Stochastic. You're gonna have to give me the definition on that one. That's.
Oh, you haven't heard that? I'll have to ask Matt Walsh.
That's a Brad word.
Backstage.
That's a Brad word.
Yeah, his vernacular, I think, is.
Hold on, I'll pull up the definition for you.
Okay. Like, no, I'm like curious. Like, I mean, the whole reason we have these conversations is to learn something. So yeah, I definitely want to learn what that means.
Look,
what the word means.
I start typing in stochastic and it comes up stochastic terrorism.
All right, so what is it?
The public demonization of a person or group resulting in the incitement of a violent act, which is statistically probable, but whose specifics cannot be predicted. The lone wolf attack was apparently influenced by the rhetoric of stochastic terrorism. Make sense?
Rob disappeared.
I know. Look, did he have to go give a delivery?
I guess.
He asked me to give him the definition, and then he leaves. Did you catch that, Rob?
Oh, we lost him. He was pulling out.
He must have had to go do his delivery.
Oh, yeah. Stochastic terrorism. Stochastic.
Oh, that's crazy. It's a noun.
Yeah. No video feed. It looks like is he going to come in as me again? He's not going to change the name.
Wait, change your name, Rob.
Then we lost him again.
Oh, it looks like he's changing his stuff.
Maybe.
Well, he's moving around, so at least we know it's not frozen.
Yeah.
I was watching that.
So no, what happened was, of course, again, somebody fucking calling me, and I'm about to just start fucking blocking motherfuckers that don't call me this time of day. I'm busy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Rob, this is like the first week that we've decided to do it every day.
Okay, like the people that keep calling me, I will literally text them, say I'm gonna be podcasting, and then they call anyway. Like I'm about to just like throw out blanket blocks and middle fingers. If you smell what the Rob is cooking,
I'm gonna block you for 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, like 30 minutes to an hour. Anyways, so please read the definition of stochastic terrorism again, just in case any of the viewers missed it, like me.
Okay, so like I was saying, Joy Reid is a stochastic terrorist. Okay, the public demonization of a person or group resulting in the incitement of a violent act, which is statistically probable, but whose specifics cannot be predicted.
Okay, that would be like just about every Democrat, the way they villainize white people.
Right. See, yeah. They made up that word, and then they started using it against conservatives and Republicans.
Yeah, they well, I mean, that's kind of like the MO of Democrats. Like anything they're going to accuse, anything that they're accusing conservatives of is what they're actually doing. That's always been the fact. You said it. I've said it. We've all said it. Like, if the Democrats are accusing somebody of something, you know it's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Gosh, do these people even read the definitions to the words that they use?
Well, they don't bother because they're going to change the meaning of the word next week anyway.
Well, they're the ones that created it.
Yeah, and then they're going to change the meaning of it next week.
Oh my gosh. The use of mass public communication, usually against a particular individual or group, which incites or inspires acts of terrorism, which are statistically probable, but happen seemingly at random quotations, whatever. This was from Wiktionary, so the other one was that I gave, it was pretty much the same thing, was from dictionary.com.
Well, don't forget, you know, the left burned down half the country for the better part of a year and then claimed that a bunch of people trespassing was the worst thing since 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
When we
you saw what happened in like Portland, Oregon, where they killed anybody that was wearing a MAGA hat or beating people, you know, and the reason they did that was because of people like Joy Reid, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy fucking Behar, and in the bottle, I'm a Republican. No, you ain't. You never were, you stupid bitch. Oh, God, I hate those people.
There ain't nobody that lived in California that's a Republican. There might be, Western California. It just doesn't exist. It's like a unicorn finding an actual conserve there. Like, for about the last 40 years. I mean...
He's got a face tattoo, and then he's like, what are you staring at?
Like, even Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was a Republican governor, but he wasn't a conservative.
And now he's ran somebody over or something, I heard.
Ran somebody over. Who's that?
Good job, Arnie. Glad you're still the Terminator.
Well, dude, he had gotten an accident in his big yellow Humvee not too long ago.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I guess it was probably a while ago, but...
So, anyway, so now that we covered the transurrection and the correlations,
yeah,
you know, but again, you know, thoughts and prayers to all the victims in Oklahoma of the worst threat to our democracy since Pearl Harbor or the Civil War. Sorry, I have a hard time remembering these leftist tropes because they're so stupid. Anyway.
Really, what are we talking about there?
No, I was just the transurrection. I was just referring to it the way the Democrats do January 6th.
Right. What was weird? It was yesterday. Yesterday was February 6th.
Uh-huh.
So
I love it.
I'm like, wow, is that a coincidence? I don't know.
One way or the other, it's a little on the nose, ain't it? So anyway, okay, so you're a scholastic terrorist, like it. Okay. So next up, I wanted to talk a little bit about Tate. So the reason he's popular is kind of obvious, because basically, what is it, Generation Z and Generation Y, the millennials, right? They're kind of generations of men raised by women, kind of like the line from Fight Club. You know, generation of men raised by women.
Right.
So they don't really know how to be men. And to a degree, I think it's intentional. To a large degree, I think it's intentional. But that's why Tate kind of resonates with him, because basically he's like a macho jerk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling guys to be guys. But like I heard where he tried to make the idea that a woman is a man's property, and then he tries to reference like in marriage and whatnot, and like his own point is like kind of valid, but he misses like he kind of misses because he like makes the argument that the man has some authority over because he's responsible for her safety. And it's like, okay, so where exactly in that diatribe does it say when you got more than one of them in love with you, then just go ahead and throw them online and peddle their body parts? You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
while
he was a pimp.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
he says that the man has some authority and domain over the woman because he's responsible for her safety, and then he turns around and endangers her safety,
right,
and doesn't take care of her. So while what he was saying, as truly misogynistic as it may have sounded, it was kind of the right message. He just didn't back it up in his actions. And like, frankly,
bro, you should quit smoking.
Dude, I was just carrying like 100 pounds worth of stuff for like forever. So anyway,
and that's why he's breathing heavy, because he smokes all the time, so he has trouble doing it.
Yeah.
I lift heavy objects every time I use the bathroom.
Oh, I knew you were gonna go there. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, it's that prosthetic that he uses to pretend he has a big. No.
It's not a prosthetic, bro. It's not a prosthetic, bro.
That's not what she said. Anyway,
how would you know what she said? Her mouth was full.
Oh, Rob, she was giving you a blow at the time when she was trying to tell you about his penis.
Yeah, she was like, "Yours is so much smaller."
Yours is so much smaller. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's how he understood. Her mouth wasn't full.
Okay.
Anyway,
so,
but I think what he meant in that context was in the context of marriage.
Yeah, but like
the woman is the man's property, and I don't agree with that. But I do think that I'm responsible for her safety and my children's safety.
Well, no, but there is to a degree. No, I mean it's absolutely like 100% accurate that a man does have authority over his wife. In the same way, to a degree, a woman has authority over her husband.
Right. Yeah, because guess what? The two became one.
Exactly. Right. And then, like, there's going to be some things that are going to be the purview of the wife in a relationship, and there's some things that are going to be a purview of the man in the relationship. And whether it's the man or the woman, somebody has the final call if there's a disagreement.
Right.
That you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, let's face it, like, there's very, like, safety and security of the family is probably the one area where the man actually has the final call. And everything else, the woman lets the man think he has the final call. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, now he was somewhat rightfully vilified for, like, misogyny because the dude is actually just a fucking macho prick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like, what he says kind of appeals to men that aren't being led to be men, because in a way it feels kind of natural to be manly and raw and strong and in control. But he, like, loses it because he kind of abandons, you know, I mean, there's no other way to put it, but God's intention behind giving men those traits. And God's intention in giving men the strength and the fortitude and the resilience to face some of the harder challenges in life was so can protect your woman and your family. Okay, but I can tell you, like, with a guy like him, he'll never have authority over women because he never has respect for the women, because respect has to be shared on both sides.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So no woman is going to give up her autonomy and give herself over to your authority if you don't respect her. Because if you don't respect her, she's never going to respect you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, FA.
Okay. So anyway,
we do love pickles.
So
we are pickle huggers, and we smoke pickles.
The fuck?
Hold on a sec. Oh, is it not going to display them now? Come on. Some dude by the name of FA on YouTube called us pickle huggers.
What the hell's a pickle
hugger?
hugger?
What?
And said smoking pickles.
Is he a pole smoker?
Yeah.
I don't. It's FA, so I don't know.
He's fucking asses, and he's talking about pickle smoking. Okay.
Pickle huggers.
I'm saying a little bit of a contradiction there, but hey, FA, thanks for joining the chat and commenting. We appreciate it. It really helps us out with the algorithm.
I'm sorry, if somebody's talking about pickle smoking, it's probably because they're the ones who are actually doing it.
I heard. I was watching Michael Knowles this morning, and someone said that cauliflower and eggplant and some other stuff has nicotine in it.
It's possible. Nicotine is a naturally occurring chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found out. I have no evidence to back that up, but I heard it, and it sounds plausible. Michael Knowles is like, well, because Michael Knowles smokes cigars, and he's like, well, you just came up with the best reason for me to eat cauliflower.
Well, cigars are wonderful.
Oh, yes, they are. I was thinking about smoking
every once in a while.
Yeah, I know. Both of you guys occasionally need to get something big, thick, and round in your mouth. I got you.
Yeah, that's it. Compared to the one who has to put one in his mouth 20 times a day.
That ain't big, thick, and round.
No, you like skinny, long, and
small.
That's a lot shorter than any freaking cigar.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Anyway, okay, so before we give Biden a break, the first one I will have given him his entire political career.
Gosh, Rob still thinks that this man is the one that came up with this.
I don't care if he came up with it. It was implemented.
Give him credit for something Obama did.
Which Mr. Obama, Michelle or Barack?
You mean Michael?
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, Michael or Barry.
Biden never came up with a good idea in his life.
So anyway, before that, make sure you guys like, subscribe. Feel free to comment, even if it's like retarded gay jokes.
How do you know that was a gay joke? What do you think he was referring to when he was talking about pickles?
I'm just saying. Sounded pretty gay. Anyway.
Seems like it would take a gay to know a gay.
I know you ain't talking about me. Anyway.
You're the one that said it.
Yes, because, you know, I do have the intellect to understand that
it sounds pretty gay.
Defiance of God and all that. So, you know.
I have the intellect to.
Anyway, so make sure to like, subscribe, comment, even if it's ridiculous. We like having you guys here. And
yes,
if you actually have something intelligible to add to the conversation, we appreciate that even more. Anyway, so now on to Biden. Okay.
Biden? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob wants to get on Biden. Which one? Jill? Hunter?
The whole family's a joke.
Oh, doctor.
Rob wants to get in those diapers.
Oh, make sure you call
that's
your
funny.
doctor.
Like,
he's gonna get angry at you.
I just remember that like line of Biden, like basically bragging that nobody fucks with a Biden, bro.
except for prostitutes and stairs and bicycles,
right? And teleprompters.
And cancer. Too soon.
And no cards.
Was that bad of me? That cancer joke that I just made.
Yeah, well, I mean, it tells you like how long it's been since he's actually been anywhere near a refinery, because refineries don't rain oil, and they haven't since like the 1950s. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
What do you mean?
Well, because he like told the story when he made the comment that he had cancer. He was telling a story about growing up, and like the pollution was so bad that you had to go out in the morning and wipe the oil slick off your car.
Right.
No,
that wasn't
what
I was.
Actually predates him, because that's like, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe 60s. But I think by then the EPA was well in control of that.
That wasn't the cancer I was referring to.
But it's probably
talking about Bo.
Dude, it's probably like when he stole the British minister's life story and tried to say it was his. You know, he does like plagiarizing other people's stories. So that's probably what he was talking about, with somebody else's experience like 30 years before he was born. But anyway, it is a good move that the U.S. is expanding our presence in the Philippines. They are a strong ally there. It's a good thing that Tate like is out of office, even though his daughter is the vice president over there. And I'm actually shocked that so far Bong Bong over there is seeming to be fairly freedom oriented, considering he was the son of the dictator. So that is kind of nice. But yeah, we're now expanding to, I think it's 6 bases in the Philippines now. And that's a good thing. That's land bases. The furthest north base is like 150 miles off of the coast of Taiwan. We can launch like F-16 and F-22 sorties directly from that base.
F-35.
Like, they don't have to operate off of aircraft carriers where, like, I mean, let's face it, they do have some good anti-ship technology theoretically in China. Like, I say theoretically because Eastern developed weapons don't seem to be that great.
Yeah, nothing's really been tested in the real world yet.
Yeah. So theoretically, they do have good anti-ship technology. And considering, like, I mean, because of how far the China Sea is from the United States, we have to protect our naval power and our air power in order to deal with China in the event that there is a military conflict. So, like, I mean, that should be what they're like pointing on.
There was one of the top generals in the Air Force put out a memo to all his staff to turn in, warning that he hates to say it, but he sees an attack coming from China on Taiwan by 2025 with the election, the turning of the election, and the confusion of switching leadership there, and that he wanted all his staff to turn in attack, ways to attack.
Defense initiatives to prepare for the attack.
Yeah, to prepare for the attack. And he actually took a lot of heat for that because a lot of the administration thought it was way too aggressive.
Okay. So, yeah, well, of course, because Biden thinks anything other than pooping your pants is too aggressive.
But honestly, I mean, I've mentioned it before. I think China will attack sooner than later, just because Japan's increased their defense budget to the largest point it's been since World War II. They're building the bases in the southern islands, unmanned southern islands, closer to Taiwan, so they can respond to Chinese aggression there. So, I mean, I think they're more likely to attack while Biden's still in office because he's a weak leader, and before Japan gets all their defenses built up with the new influx of money and the bases built that they'll be able to respond from.
I think they'll be attacking somewhere around November 7th of 2024.
Yeah, at the election, you think?
Yeah. So they still have the issue that they don't have enough landing craft to successfully land an invasion force. They can't transport the tanks to actually secure the ground.
What if China just decides to set up a blockade and dares anyone to try and break it?
Okay, so there is a lot. Okay, so been a lot of hoo-ha about China now having the world's largest navy. Okay, that's 100% paper tiger, because the majority of the vessels that they're talking about are more like fishing ships. They're not even to the size and the equipment and armament of a Coast Guard cutter. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like they're actually huge threats. They do just have a lot of stuff to put out there as targets. But if you look at the firing power on our destroyers and shit, dude, they can easily target 10, 20 vessels at a time and just pop them off. The bigger danger of a naval battle with China is the fact that we're going to be using $1 million missiles to sink $10,000 ships. You know what I mean?
Like we used $500,000 in missiles just to take down a balloon?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, we don't care about that.
From the F-22 Raptor.
We'll take that. We'll spend millions of dollars to take down $10,000 of ship. I mean, come on.
And the fact that
look, how many times did we use $100,000 bombs to flatten $100 houses? And
I love the fact that they let it
Afghanistan
transit all the way across the U.S., sent all the information off to China, wait until it was over the Pacific, then shot it down. Well, there was nowhere to shoot it down. The thing was the size of 3 school buses, and it would have spread stuff over miles. It's well, there was plenty of places, when it was going over Alaska, over the Atlantic, over Montana, over
Nebraska.
I love how there's also the report that Biden had told them, shoot it down, and the military brass came back and said, no, you need to wait till it's somewhere where it's not going to crash to the ground.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Showing the weakness of Biden. If he did truly tell them to shoot it down and they said, no, let's hold off.
I mean, whoever said no should be fired.
Right. Yeah.
The end. Dishonorably discharged, no pension, get the fuck out of here, you fucking spineless, cowardly leech.
Or you mean the leader in the military who kept the spy balloon information from Trump?
Supposedly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah, I love how.
I think that whole story is kind of funny. I think that sounds an awful lot like 51 former intelligence officers saying that the laptop was a Russian plant.
Well, I love how every higher up in the Trump administration is coming out and said there was no balloons over the U.S. when Trump was in office. None of them were ever notified of any balloons
they excoriated fucking Trump on everything. If there was truth to it, we would have heard about it 1,000 fucking times. And they would have impeached him for failing the security of our
nobody
nation.
During the Trump administration knew about the balloons. I figured it out once I got into office that these balloons were coming across the U.S. even during Trump's time. It's like, BS. Give me a break.
That didn't happen.
He's like, I figured it out when I needed cover for blowing the fucking situation completely.
It's ridiculous.
Man hasn't figured out anything in his life.
I know.
Dude, he hasn't figured out yet that the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny don't exist.
Hey, my kids are right outside. Jesus.
I think your kids are a bit older than that, aren't they?
No.
Oh, how old are your kids?
11 and 9.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No, they didn't hear you. I'm just giving you shit.
Maybe the 9-year-old, but I don't know. Dude, how are my kids like a decade older than your kids?
He waited.
The Lord wanted me to grow up to raise children.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have raised a bunch of leftist lunatics. But my 11-year-old's autistic, so.
Were you a leftist before you grew up?
What's that?
Were you a leftist before you grew up?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
You said you would have raised a bunch of leftist lunatics.
I was more of a, I don't know. I thought back before I realized how terrible and evil the Democrats were.
Yeah.
I would try to keep a checks and balances. So I'd vote Republican for the president.
Yeah.
But then I would vote occasional Dem if I thought, the candidate down the ticket was better than the Republican. But now,
so the reality is, my first presidential election, I actually voted for Al Gore.
Oh dear God, dude.
No, okay, but hear me out here.
Oh dear God.
Fucking George Bush admitting to doing coke, and I don't fucking trust anybody on uppers. Sorry, I grew up in a town nicknamed Spuncouver.
Gore,
like cokeheads and meth heads, you can't trust.
Dude, nobody in Vancouver was snorting coke.
Showing how much of a whack job he is. He is out there.
No, I just don't trust anybody on uppers. Anyway, so I didn't really trust Bush, but so when you like fast forward a little bit though. And you get to September 11th, like I immediately, like as soon as it happened, I was like, thank God there's a Republican in office. You know what I mean? Because like even by that point, I had already realized if a Democrat had been in office, they would have been over like sucking dick in the Middle East, apologizing for all our sins. You know what I mean? They would have been blaming the American people for 9/11, which Democrats do, like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib.
Oh no, Ilhan!
The thing that happened that day.
Ilhan Omar is a 9/11 denialist.
Yeah,
the thing happened to some people.
Yeah, the thing was an attack by a terrorist organization, and some people is all Americans.
It's all about the Benjamins.
But I'll put it this way: they knocked down 2 of our buildings. We knocked down 2 of their countries.
Well, we didn't really knock down Afghanistan.
Yeah,
they kind of kicked us out, if you remember correctly.
No, we didn't.
Oh no, wait, we ran away.
Yeah, we did not.
Well, it's kind of like Vietnam. They didn't kick us out. We just ran.
Yeah, we could have stayed indefinitely with the presence of 2,500 troops, which is what we had, without anybody dying, which is what we were doing. But the whole reason that government failed is because it was a fucking bureaucrat picked fucking liberal from a liberal college in the United States that got who got installed as the president of that country. It was not a leader who grew up like trying to lead in that country. And after 20 years, they should have had a pretty good base of actual leaders that could have moved in and taken that position. But instead, because it's all fucking dirty cricket, they fucking appointed one of their fucking fellow academics to take a position that he was ill prepared for. And so, yeah, as soon as at the first sign of trouble, he fucking shoveled up the cash and disappeared. Fucking hoovering up cash. We know about Democrats doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many millions is Pelosi fucking hoovered? Fucking the like Donald Trump left office with $1 billion less than he went in, and the Obamas went in poor and came out rich. I'm just saying.
So what? Wait.
Oh,
what? Explain to me what Biden got right on foreign relations. That you're
increasing the presence in the Philippines and pushing through with the initiative to expand our presence there.
I can agree with you on that. I'd say that's a good idea. It's right there.
Yeah, well, and the thing was, okay, so in Afghanistan, he was kind of following the blueprint that Trump followed. He just didn't follow it right, so he ended up getting it wrong.
So he didn't follow the blueprint.
He didn't follow it at all.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, he didn't. So that's where he got the wrong idea and did it wrong. And this one, he got the right idea and did it right. They followed through. They got an expanded mutual defense agreement that actually serves the needs of the Filipino people and the needs of the American people and the needs of the world at the same time. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, considering the fact that Democrats generally just say, well, anything that Trump did was fucking bad. Trump was working on that, but couldn't get anywhere with Duterte. So the fact that he continued the diplomacy towards the goal of expanding the U.S. presence at military bases in the Philippines and the cooperation, because they still have a huge Muslim insurgency in the south of the country. And there they have, I think it's called Shabu or something like that. Like, okay, so here's the reason why their drug war is so fucking crazy there. Dude, we grew up in a fucking place that was just fucking being devoured by meth. Shabu is the drug that is the problem in the Philippines, which is their methamphetamine. It's a methamphetamine.
Yeah.
So they have this huge meth epidemic there, and that's what they're fighting so viciously. And like these people, like they're as vicious as the Mexican cartels. And like, I'm not a fan of extrajudicial killings, but like it's kind of like the thing he said was, when the cops come to arrest you for drug charges, you shut up, you go to jail, you work it out in court. If you resist in any way, you will just be shot, because we are not risking our officers' lives. And that's the way ever since, that's the way they fought the drug war. And it's kind of your own fault if you resist the cops. So you kind of have two choices in that situation. If they're coming and making a drug raid, you either go to jail or you go to the grave. So they're making a choice. So I don't really feel bad for all the people that have died in the drug raids. Now, the one concern there is that there is some degree of corruption in the Philippines. Okay, some degree to the point that like when I need a document, couldn't get it, and they're just like, okay, well, let's just pay X amount of money for my friend of the family to make that happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like the corruption's kind of woven into the fabric there, and that makes it sketchy, because then you can like be taking out your enemies by claiming that they're running drugs, especially if you know they're going to put up a fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is some danger with that, but they were pretty clear. If the drug enforcement cops come and do a raid at your place, the only way you're walking out alive is if you like fucking lay down and put your hands behind your back and wait to be arrested. Like, they couldn't have sent a clearer message.
Ben Shapiro is trying too hard.
Huh?
Ben Shapiro is trying too hard. Why is Bono at the State of the Union?
I don't know.
Are they
union I barely understand why Tyree's parents are there. I mean, I understand they're going to use it for their fucking propaganda, their race baiting. But
he's the biggest number 2 in the history of the world, remember?
That is interesting. Did you guys know? Do you guys know Damar Hamlin?
The name sounds familiar, but you got to give me more than just the name.
The name Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo.
Oh, the guy with the stopped heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the Bills owner had a heart attack and has had brain damage from her heart attack. And we're just now finding out about it. And this happened.
When was that?
This happened last year, like I don't know if it was during the season or whatnot, but I just heard about it today.
Do you think there's a possibility that they were both recipients of an experimental gene therapy?
Well, being how the Buffalo Bills were touting a 95% bioweapon
We're not going to
rate,
say the B word.
but a 95% bioweapon rate, like 95% of their
compliance rate. We'll call it a compliance rate.
No, I mean it was a bioweapon. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I think that is exactly what it is. Screw BlueTube. We've gotten more money from freaking Rumble than we've gotten from BlueTube.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. We're not going to talk about the amount of money, but it is awesome that we got our first monetization payment. Yeah, we only need to increase it by like 8,000 times to make back what I've invested.
Right.
80,000 times. And that's just what I've invested. You guys have both invested in the project too. So
I know, and we're no longer using my part of the investment.
Well, you know.
Which part is that?
Tell Ben Shapiro to stop being a cuck and let us use the.
No, I was talking about Zoom, you dingaling.
Oh, yeah, that too. You canceled that membership, right?
I don't know. I can use it for my own stuff and for the kids. So
well, I just didn't know if you need the premium for it. So anyway,
yeah. So Ben Shapiro's they got backstage for the State of the Union, and Ben Shapiro made this stupid fucking puppet out of a paper bag, and it looks like Joe Biden, and his arm has an ice cream cone in it with a cherry on top, and just like, are you trying to like be Steven Crowder? What are you doing, Ben? You're trying too hard, and it's not funny. But everybody on the panel was laughing, and I'm like, dude, this is stupid.
So he couldn't get Crowder, so he's trying to beat Crowder. Is that the?
I guess he's been using props. He's been using props on his show too.
Sounds like Ben's cucked by Crowder.
Yeah. Well, they're so fucking butthurt. You know that they were in the wrong when Steven came out and just said something, and they're like, "Oh no, that's not what we did," but we do.
Okay, so in both cases, we are still dealing with arrogant media types that are gonna like push their side of the story. So, like,
I'm not saying that I blame the Daily Wire for what they do, but when you say that you're fighting big tech, but yet you're in bed with them, it's you
I don't think they're in bed with big tech,
dude. Ben Shapiro literally said on his show that when the Vox apocalypse happened against Steven Crowder, that he used his poll to get on the phone with Susan Wojcicki to fucking bitch to her about the treatment that she was giving Steven Crowder. And then a minute later, he says, "We are not in bed with big tech. You have their number. You can reach them anytime you want." What do you mean you're not in bed with them?
bro? I got like 8,000 numbers saved in my phone. I'm not in bed with any of those people.
You got Susan Wojcicki?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably not, because I don't actually like get a majority of my income or a big part of income from her business. If I was, then I would probably have her phone number, so when she snaps down or clamps down on me, I can try and fight back. Like with the way they're treating us, I wish I had her number. I'd give her a piece of my mind.
I don't. Why? It's stupid. BlueTube is stupid. It's not the only platform. If we're gonna get monetized, it's not gonna be from BlueTube. And I would not want to be monetized from BlueTube. So.
Well, they're busting their butt to find reasons to get rid of us. So.
Well, I'll give them a reason.
I think most of the time.
I'll give them 2 reasons.
Most of the time, what?
I think a lot of the times when we get our strikes, you are the reason, Brad.
Good. I don't think so, but good.
So
I think it's Rob's remarks on skinning people and making them walk around. You're gonna walk around without your most important organ.
Our first strike came on a rant by Brad.
Well, you're right. It did, huh? This is that fucking trans one.
Yep. So, anyways, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get that they have, if they're getting money from them, they're going to have to interact with them. So there's not a whole lot of options. I mean, if he doesn't engage with her directly, then he's just giving her carte blanche to destroy their message. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what they're doing to us because we have no clout. We're not a multi-million-dollar company. You know what I mean?
Yet.
So
you forgot
Daily Wire is, so it would make sense that the biggest video platform in the world, he's got their number. That makes sense. Like from a business standpoint, because they are still ultimately in business. And for that platform, they have to limit what they say. But they also have their own platform where you can go and say whatever you got to say. So like in that argument of saying, okay, you got to like follow YouTube's rules for content you make for YouTube. You know, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
You got to follow the rules for content you make for YouTube, but yet, which is basically, you know, it should be telling the truth. So we say that cutting out of somebody's sexual organs sterilizes them, but yet we get checked for saying that, even though that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to say it again, so we get checked the third time and we're gone.
Who cares? Who cares? Forget it.
Insane.
YouTube is not the only.
I ain't got a number to call her and give her a piece of my mind, so I care. I don't want to be kicked off of the place with the largest video platform in the world.
Yeah. It's just dumb that
off of some shit that we already said and we know that they're going to get us for.
It's just dumb that you can say things that are actually correct, yet they ding you for it. It's like,
yeah. So who wants to be on a fucking platform that suppresses the truth?
I think I was pretty clear. It's the largest video sharing platform in the world until Rumble catches up. Because the goal of this is
the only one who cares is
you. Hear us.
Yeah.
The only one who's really concerned is you. Whatever.
No, it's nice it's nice to be on there just for the number of people that can view you, but still.
Exactly. That's it.
So you do what a lot of the other professional podcasts.
And BlueTube will be just fucking back to the way it was before with fucking kitten videos.
So you do a lot of what the professional podcasters do. They record the first 20 minutes of their show or 10 minutes of their show on YouTube, and then they have everyone switch over to the better services.
Yes, like Rumble. Everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, switch to Rumble. Screw BlueTube. It's pouring out there.
We are quiet.
So I'm trying to make a delivery, but I can't get to the freaking door that I need to get to. So I'm about to tell these people their shit's out front. Come get it.
So last night I was irritated because I was watching Quantum Leap, which is from the 80s or 90s, 90s.
I think it's the 80s.
It was a great show, and they decided to remake it.
Oh, geez. No, you didn't start watching the new one.
I saw the new ones. They were pretty good until this last one, where they went into the transsexualism of children. And the whole show was about the guy's son, who actually is his daughter, playing sports, and how it's unfair that most of the parents don't want her playing sports, and because it's a guy trying to play in the girls' basketball, and it was. I don't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the show when they had the one transsexual who was working there, but then when they start shoving it in your face and do these really controversial subjects and make the whole show based on that. It's like, okay, I'm glad my kids aren't watching this because, I'm fine. If you want to be identified as a girl or as a boy, that's fine with me, whatever. But to be transsexualizing children under, instead of waiting till they're adults is what drives me crazy.
Well, we need to stop transing people to begin with. If somebody really has gender dysphoria, they need to be treated for it.
Yeah.
Right. With the 65% suicide rate.
Yes, there is gender dysphoria, but it's very rare. But most of these people are regretting their transitions when they're done as children because they're being affirmed instead of being challenged.
Right.
On every corner. It's
yeah, we're all on the topic.
I just about if I almost turned it off. I was just like, and it was like, okay, I'm done watching it. I'm never watching this again, just because I get tired of it being shoved in your face. I was fine with the one scientist who helps run the program. He was transsexual. I had no problem with him because he was an adult and he was doing his thing. He made his choices. Great. Good for him. He was the only one on the show. But now that they're trying to push it into the whole kid subject, that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this.
See, you took the slippery slope pill. You started with, okay, it's okay that the scientist is transgender, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't like a gradual slippery slope. It was a slippery cliff.
Yeah,
you just fucking fell off, right? I mean, dude. Okay, Quantum Leap, dude. I remember Quantum. Dude, I loved that show. Almost like I loved MacGyver. You remember MacGyver? None of these messages were ever put into any of those shows like they are today.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
He played the role of a woman, but it's because he was jumping into other bodies, not because he identified as a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's, man, it's just, and then they got Disney Plus has this stupid fucking new show out. Remember back in like 2000 or whatever, they had Proud Family.
Oh, I think I know
a cartoon. And now they're just pushing false history and CRT.
Oh, yeah. I saw a snippet of that where
they're like, slaves built this country.
Yeah, slaves built this country, and we need reparations, and and they
want 40 acres and a mule. Nah, you can keep the mule.
40 acres and a mule. I just want. It's like, oh my God.
We want our freedom.
And you want you want me to put my kids down in front of Disney Plus and have them watch these shows without me standing over them, making sure that the message is okay.
Right. See, what's good about the stuff that we do and the research that we do, like I watched the Daily Wire, and then that's where I found out Lightyear had that stupid gay scene in it, and my daughters are really cool about it. I'm like, guys, no, you can't watch Lightyear, and they were upset about it, and I was like, look, I'm sorry, but Disney's trying to push something on you that I don't agree with, and so I came out one Sunday morning because sometimes we let my youngest sleep out on the couch and she'll watch movies on my 70-inch TV, and I woke up one morning and I came out and it had the Lightyear on, and it said push play, and I looked at my daughter and I was like, are you watching this? She's like, no, I was watching Luca, and this came up as a suggestion because I watched Luca. I was like, oh, okay. So they're not watching it. And then they wanted to go see Strange World, which is about transgender. I'm like, no, you guys, we're not going to see that. I'm sorry. I know you guys really want to see it, but we're not seeing it because it's trying to teach you something that I do not agree with. A couple of weeks later, sure as crap, they're watching it at daycare. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're trying to program them.
And I'm like, no, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit down and I talk to them. Of course, my daughters already know that boys are boys, girls are girls. Boys can't be girls, girls can't be boys. And, and my youngest, God bless her heart, man. If she sees if they're watching TV, and it's a boy, and there's a boy and a boy, and like for some reason a boy kisses another boy, she's all, ew, that's gay, ew, turn it off, change it, that's gay. I'm I'm like, yes, I love you. But don't say that anywhere else but in this house.
Well,
there was actually a show that I was watching that was actually pretty good. And then they just blew it. Like, oh God, what the fuck was the show called?
they're going to usually say that even if it's a boy and a girl kissing. Ew, that's disgusting. What are they doing?
Yeah.
So
no, and that's what she said. That's what she says. When she sees mom and dad kissing.
Yeah.
But the fact that she noticed that was gay and wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I was proud.
Sinful behavior.
Don't know that one.
That's the name of the show.
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Well, because I don't know.
No, dude, again, I was with my buddy, and we were at his parents' house, and his brother is gay, right? Well, his brother wasn't at his parents' house with us, and we were watching this Liam Neeson movie, and Liam Neeson straight up kissed this guy, was making out with this guy, and I was like, whoa, gross, oh my God. And then I realized where I was, and I was like, oh geez. So I told my buddy, I was like, I hope your parents didn't fucking get offended that I was like, that's disgusting. Because their son's gay. He's like, oh, I don't even think they noticed. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. We were all pretty stoned.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, anyways, guys.
I think it's a good time to take a wrap after a nice gay rant.
Yeah, just remember, guys, everything that you hear on the State of the Union, research it, because I guarantee you 99.9% of it is all going to be lies.
And don't research it on CNN.com, CBS News.
Yeah, because I guarantee you inflation was not as high as it is now when Biden came into office. What did we say yesterday? 1.4%.
1.4%. We've had 13% inflation since Biden took. So, anyways, for the people that are still hanging on, make sure you like, subscribe, share us, help people see us, because
help the algorithm, and YouTube will be forced to notice us.
Yeah, well, hopefully not notice us too much, but
yeah. So everybody just watch us on every other streaming platform other than Bluetooth.
Watch us on Twitter,
Twitch. Facebook.
Yeah.
But mainly the Alamo Rumble.
Yeah, they're doing good work over there. If you want to find us, just download the Rumble app and just type in otrrvl, off the rails, right versus left.
Biden is taking the podium.
That's
it. You guys all have a good night.
And thank you all. It was a good show. Thank you guys for being here. I know it's hard, especially for you, Brian.
Stay conservative.
Word.